Hello, hello, hello again. As I said before, I'm finally doing my Supergirl Season 2 review. And I basically need some wine to do this review. And it's not because I hate Supergirl, because you know that I was doing a regular little review upon it for like not every episode. I try to do every episode, but then it became like every like 5 or 6 episodes. I had to lump them in because there was so much. There's like 25 episodes during the season, 22. So I had to take a hiatus and just let it flow, and I let it flow from the episode that had Livewire in it all the way up until the season finale. And this is a review of the rest of the season. You can catch all my other reviews here if you subscribe to my videos and everything like that. First of all, I have to say it. The season 2 finale I thought was incredible. As far as like special effects were concerned, as far as things that were happening, we had a whole world invasion. By spoilers, if you shouldn't be watching this if you don't want spoilers because it's a review of the whole season. But still, spoiler alert. There you go. The war that they had between the Daxamites and Earth was just, it was incredible. I was like, they brought everybody in. And they did so much justice to like everybody. And I have to look on my notes here because I have to remember my anger. So, my anger is, I'll just get right to it right away. It has to do with every character on the season kind of, they did justice to. They did a really good job. We got Wynn, we got a little bit more in depth with Wynn and like a relationship. We got James Olsen being the Guardian, which I don't exactly enjoy, but it's kind of cool to have a vigilante in that world that, you know, it's not and doesn't have superpowers, you know, because there's no Arrow in this world, there's no anything like that. So it's good to have that, even though Kara's hinted at Batman being in the world. That's never going to happen. But we're supposed to get Batwoman, and I don't know what happened with that. I thought it was going to happen this season, but I guess it's not. So all these characters, including, oh God, I don't know, I'm not going to go through everybody, but John Jones did a great job of him and Megan, his relationship with her, even though it was kind of weird. But they did a great job of that, and everybody else, you know, they rounded it out and they did it in the CW way, and which is a little bit younger and a little bit more energy and a little bit more dramatic, to be honest. And I love the CW for that. They've had some failures and everything like that, but majority of the time they've done well. And I harken back to Buffy the Vampire Slayer because that's where it came from. And Smallville, you got to think of all those things that came from this. Incredible series. And Supernatural, I can keep going on. I'm not going to. 100. Okay, I'm going to stop. So the person that I felt that they didn't do too much justice to in the last episode was Superman. And you know, I'm a huge Superman fan. That's the reason why I'm watching Supergirl. So I kind of felt a tad bit betrayed. And I don't want you to think it's because I don't think the girl should have power. Because this is Supergirl, her show. And, but the one big complaint I had about this season was, just like the other season, is that almost everything for Supergirl storylines came from Superman. His villains, his job. Like, she's literally a reporter now. That didn't bother me at first. It bothered me a tad, but it kept progressing. And at one point during the series, she lost that job. And I wanted it to be that way. I'm like, you know, there are different things about Supergirl in the comic book. You could bring those things up. But no, they brought her back to being a reporter, and they solidified it with a pretty touching story with her and Snap a car and all this crap. But get frick rid of it. It's getting on my nerves. The only reason why it's getting on my nerves is that she should be her own self. Right now, she's basically a copycat of Superman for that network. And the problem with that is that now they actually have Superman on that network. And with the amount of villains and storylines that she has adapted from the Superman mythos, what the hell does he have left? What the hell has he been fighting all these years? What dramas and situations has he been going through? Because it's all given to her. I don't see anywhere else it's going. I mean, like, she's basically has everything. And I love this series. Love it. Especially for the fact that, like, this is one of those series that are able to do things that they've never done before in any type of Superman series. Lois and Clark, Superboy, any of those series, or any of the live action series. It's at a level now where you can do so many different things with it, like the alien invasion of Daxam, Daxam alien invasion. But yeah, I just think that her gathering all his villains in. Okay, I'm just gonna get to the point because it's not 5 minutes in. This is what happened in the season finale of Supergirl that pissed me off. So the major thing that upset me about the battle between Supergirl and Superman was just the fact that they had a knockdown, drag-out battle that lasted through Rhea's ship all the way down to the streets of National City. And it was caused by silver kryptonite, which is kind of great. They did like a, the homage thing to the old Kurt Swan days of Superman when he had so many damn kryptonites it wasn't funny. There was literally a comic book where Kurt Swan drew every single type of kryptonite affecting Superman. And because some of them could affect his emotional spectrum, Kurt Swan was like the master of drawing like faces and facial expressions, I should say. Not faces, but facial expressions. So they utilized his artwork in order to make that kind of pop and just to show it off. And it was kind of a cute thing, and I believe silver kryptonite was one of them. So Superman was brainwashed again by Rhea with silver kryptonite. Once again, he was brainwashed, by the way. Like Myriad last season, he was brainwashed very easily. Ugh. This is Superman, people. This is Superman. But the battle between Supergirl and him went on, and at the end it was basically knockdown, drag out there, basically punch per punch. And Supergirl backhanded Superman after he was almost going to break her arm and knocked him out. And then Supergirl fell unconscious herself. So after this, Supergirl and him were both unconscious, and Alex brought them to the Fortress of Solitude where they could re-energize and everything like that, and Supergirl wakes up first. And then Superman wakes up later. And other than the fact that Supergirl just beat Superman, Superman goes over to the computer because he no longer has Kellex, because during the season she basically obliterated Kellex with a heat vision blast. What happens next is that Superman is talking to Supergirl, and he says something, well, actually Supergirl says something like, well, it was the kryptonite probably weakened you. And he's like, no, I was at full power. I was at full power, Kara, and you took me down. That just put like salt in the wound. And because I know Supergirl's the star of the series, but come on now. It's kind of like having Robin beat the crap out of Batman. And that's my issue with it. And Superman was the person who came first, and it was just wrong. Supergirl should not have beaten Superman, period. And yes, I'm going to address all those people who said, well, in the Apocalypse story, blah, 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 when Supergirl came back right before Flashpoint, that universe that happened post Crisis of Infinite Earth, from 87 all the way up until 2012, Kara came back, and at one point they said that, yeah, Kara may be able to absorb solar energy better than Clark. And where that came from was the John Burns days of Superman, when he rewrote the origin story of Superman back in 1987. And when he did that, he had a series where Superman basically met 3 Kryptonians from another dimension, where he had to go to fight because they were basically destroying everything in the universe. And at the end, they had killed everybody, including Bruce Wayne, by the way. And it was only Superman up against these 3 Kryptonians, who were basically Nam, Fiora, just to get people from Man of Steel, Non, Fiora, and General Zod. During this battle, Superman was getting pounded by Nam. And the reason why he was getting pounded by Nam and he couldn't beat him was because Nam could basically absorb solar energy at a better rate than Superman could. And his body could utilize it faster. So it made him at least significantly stronger than Superman. And so Superman could barely take him on. And then Superman wound up seeing, as Nam was smashing him to the ground, he found a container that had kryptonite in it that didn't affect him because it was from another universe. And Superman used it on them and killed all 3 of them. He actually watched Fiora beg for her life and for him not to use the kryptonite on them. But he did, and he killed all 3 of them, and then he left that dimension barren. with the exception of Supergirl, who you brought back home. Supergirl's another long story. But basically, my point is that not all Kryptonians are equal. Just because you have the DNA makeup does not mean that you will absorb solar energy the exact same way that another person does. So it does make you stronger, but it doesn't make Supergirl stronger. It makes Superman stronger. That's all I'm saying. And there you go. That is the reason why I'm a little bit annoyed. And like, as I said, it has nothing to do with like the girl shouldn't be stronger than the guy. But Superman came first. And she is a spin-off of Superman. And the fact that she was able to beat him down and then repeatedly reiterating that she beat him in a full-on, no holds bar battle pissed me off. It kind of betrays all the Superman fans out there, and I hope this doesn't hurt the series for how it ended that way. Because out of all the CW series, season finales, and I don't do reviews on The Flash or Arrow or Legends of Tomorrow, but I do think that the Supergirl season finale was the most exciting. It was a great season finale. It was just the fact that happened that just made me want to barf. Another thing that makes me want to barf. McGann and John Jones kissing. Only because I was a big fan of Young Justice, and this is a completely different McGann. She's a little bit older. And you could always tell throughout the series that there was more of maybe a love connection. But the problem is that in Young Justice, if you're familiar with her, she is like a teenager. And he's a lot older. Even in Martian years. And it just kind of, at the end when he kissed her, I was like, oh. It just kind of threw me, made that little upshuck come up to the throat. Yeah. Oh, by the way, the redeeming of Superman, in the final episode, there were a couple scenes where, like, they had a Daxamite warrior go after Superman, and he beat the crap out of that warrior and threw him out a window. You know, they redeemed him a little bit and everything like that, but even at the end of the story, oh my god, what did he say? What did he say? The car was like, when Mono had to go away, I don't think I could have ever done that. That makes you so much stronger than me. Again! Alright, I'm getting off that subject. I'm just going to go into everything else that I wanted to say about the Supergirl Season 2 review. Other than what has happened in the season finale here, I had no problems with the season. I thought that they improved it from the last one. And I said that before many times in the beginning. I think that this is the right route, or the right route to go to, and they did a very good job of it. And I was just so appreciative that they paid attention to all the characters, especially like Maggie Sawyer in a relationship with, Alex in a relationship with Maggie Sawyer. I thought that was genuine. They had their ups and downs, and her coming out was it just makes you want to cry. And I haven't felt that way since I was a kid when I came out, because I came out like at 14 years old. So having her come out, it was just like, whoa. It's just, I don't know. It seemed right. They wrote that perfectly well. What else? I'm not going to go on about the fight between Supergirl and Superman, so I'm just trying to continue down, because I had a lot of notes on that, and I'm not going to go there. James Olsen, yeah. I was going to say James Olsen was thrown under the bus at the end, because I didn't see him in the season finale, but I forgot he was there with Cat Grant in Catco Media, when that Daxamite came in and smashed Superman, like threw Superman through the wall there. They had a big old fight in the middle of it, and then Superman threw him out the window. And I completely forgot about that, because that was the only scene where Jimmy Olsen was in, as far as I'm aware of. Maybe I'll have to watch the episode back again, but I have 5 times now. What else? God. Maggie Sawyer, love. Oh, the marriage thing, little much, but with the way Alex proposed to Maggie Sawyer at the end of the episode, because Kara said, don't let go of her, don't let go of her, like what happened to Mon-El. And because Mon-El, she lost Mon-El because Mon-El basically he couldn't stay on the planet because they released a lead bomb, kill every single Daxamite. So he left the planet, and when he was flying off, he went to a wormhole. I believe that wormhole was most likely going to be him going to the Legion of Superheroes in the future, because Valor, who's Mon-El, was in the Legion of Superheroes in many different incarnations. And that would be cool to actually see him and actually see all those different superheroes. But we haven't really seen any other superheroes other than the Flash on Supergirl. And all these other CW shows, they've had all these superheroes and everything like that. It's about time that she gets hers. And other than Guardian. I don't hate Guardian. It's just the fact that Guardian was originally a part of Project Cadmus in the comic books, and I'm not even going to put a picture up there or anything of this. It's just that he was a part of Cadmus in the comic books, and he was kind of like the Captain America of that world. He was literally created within the same year that Captain America was created, and he just never garnered any popularity or anything like that, because he was a little bit after Captain America, so it just probably seemed as a cop-off. So yeah, but whatever. But Guardians existed for a very, very long time. And I like the original Guardian. He kind of had the Captain America type characteristics, but he was different in his own way. And he had the Newsboy Legends with him, the little clones. And so I love those as part of the Superman comic book. You know, another thing that Supergirl has that is a Superman thing. But I digress. I hope next season, Also, another standout of the Supergirl series, of Supergirl season 2, was the episode that everybody I think was speculating about, which is the musical episode. The musical episode of Supergirl was something that I actually wrote in my notes a while back before it premiered. And what I wrote in my notes is, tell the reasons why this should not occur. and that's so many reasons. First of all, it's too soon. If you're gonna do this in like episode 4. Season 4. Don't do this in season 2 when she's just trying to get her groundwork into the CW. It just brings a different dynamic. No offense to people who like musicals. I'm a huge music person. I used to sing and write when I was little. My father was a professional singer, and my mother was a writer. But, and I know that Supergirl came from Glee, and I know that the Flash, the actor who plays the Flash, comes from Glee, and they brought in his boyfriend, or not his boyfriend, I'm sorry. They brought in the person who played the gay kid in Glee. It's one of the fan favorites, to be the maestro of this episode. And when I saw the episode, I wanted to give it a chance. That's the reason why I left the notes there, and I didn't come back to it until now. I gave the episode a chance. I sat there and I'm like, okay, let's do this. I'm trying not to do the judgmental thing, because the one thing I could think of was like when Buffy the Vampire Slayer did it, when Josh Whedon did that episode. I knew that he was going to do it right, even though I was afraid. But it wasn't like season 7 or season 6. Anyhow, it really didn't matter. But I'm like, he was going to do it right. And right within the first 20 minutes of that episode, he did it right. And it was significant to the story. It was funny. It had that levity to it that it went along with everything. This one, on the other hand, kind of did the same thing. The songs weren't as memorable, but the one thing I did notice that they didn't actually sing as much as I thought they were going to sing. It was half and half. And they did a good job, and Grant Gustin, who plays the Flash and everything like that, he did a really good job of his last song. It was a little bit nasally for my taste. That's just me. But I thought that the episode was done well, and it actually solved the problems that Flash was having with Iris and that Supergirl was having with Mon-El. And it was very cool to bring over John Jones, Mon-El. John Jones, Mon-El? No, somebody else who came over to the Flash's universe, because we didn't get to see any Supergirl supporting cast in the Flash's universe, and this is a good thing that it actually happened. And a couple of the standouts and everything like that was Iris West's father and Flash's father. He could sing really well, and who else could sing really well? Finn could sing really well. It's just like there were a few people who surprised me with their voices. But that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to do any Buffy comparisons, because that's like 8 years of a show and everything like that. This is still the second season. And for some reason, I don't think that it actually hurt Supergirl this season. And I'm glad it didn't. I didn't think it should happen, but I'm glad it didn't. And I did actually enjoy that episode for next season. is that they bring in different elements for Supergirl to battle and for her to deal with, like maybe magic, maybe demonic things and everything like that, because CW is good for that, and I appreciated that when they did that in the Superboy TV series in the 80s, because they made him fight things that were not just aliens, and that's another thing. Enough of the aliens. There's so many freaking aliens on Supergirl. It's getting on my freaking nerves. They need to get rid of them, or at least break it down a little bit. We have so many aliens, and that seems to be the only thing that she can fight. Aliens and cyborgs who are made from alien technology. Just think of something else, and give her a backstory that isn't Superman, because there's no reason to have Superman there anymore if you're going to keep giving her the stories of Superman. And I know I said this twice, but I just have to say it again. Please get rid of that. Other than that, the whole season, I was happy with all the characters. They did a great season of Supergirl. And I really do like Supergirl Season 2, and I hope that everybody out there watches it. It's now on Hulu and Netflix and everything like that, so you can catch it on there. I just noticed it on Netflix recently because I'm on the road, and I turned it on. I was like, oh, I was going to watch this episode of Supergirl, just not the season finale again. But, yeah, that's my thoughts on Season 2 of Supergirl, and I can't wait for Season 3 of Supergirl and all the other CW shows, including Black Lightning. Move over, Nick Cage, because your frickin' season was good up until you killed Cottonmouth, like everybody said. And that was the thing with me. Although, what's her name? Aubrey Woods, whatever her name is, she was in Star Trek First Contact. Love her to death. She did a good job of his sister, whatever. But killing him was the end of the series for me and Luke Cage. So, until next time, check out my comic book if you want to. Visions of the New at visionsofthenew.com. And until next time, have a great one.